Good afternoon. I thought today would be a good day for some broccoli soup, broccoli and cheese soup, that is. And these are the ingredients you're going to need: salt, garlic powder, the red cayenne pepper powder, chili powder, 2 florets of broccoli, olive oil, cheddar cheese, half and half, chicken broth, flour, and that's just my measuring cup right there. So with further ado, let's get started on my version of broccoli and cheddar soup. Okay, in my pot I have some olive oil going. Instead of boiling the broccoli, I'm just going to go ahead and saute the broccoli. I don't know, something about boiling the broccoli just throws me off. I think it takes out the vitamins. I think it takes from the color. It's just weird to me. So again, this is my version of how I like my soup done. So it's whatever you like is totally up to you. So as you can see, these are beautiful florets. The fresher the better. We're just going to saute this in the olive oil. And as you can see with this recipe, I did not add carrot, which I don't like the shredded carrot. I also didn't add onion, but that's because someone in my family doesn't like onions. So I'm going to saute some onions in another pot and add it to my soup. That's kind of how I have to do the onion thing around here. So this recipe is really just whatever you like. That's the beauty of it. If you like a lot of cheese, if you like it thicker, you like it thinner, the ingredients used is totally up to you. Okay, now it's time to add the cup of chicken stock and flour mixture. Cup of half and half. Okay, we're going to add a whole one of these to the 2 clusters of broccoli because I'm making a pretty big pot of soup. So add a whole thing of this chicken broth, but I want you to add the 1 cup first and then the cup of the half and half. Depending on the thickness and richness, you can add another cup of half and half to this, which I'm going to see if that's what I want to do. At this point, we're going to add a cup of cheddar cheese, a tablespoon of garlic powder, tablespoon of salt, tablespoon of nutmeg, tablespoon of red pepper, tablespoon of black pepper. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and cook this down on medium high, which for my oven or stove is 4. So if you have numbers on yours, I'm using 4, and then I'm going to go back to low because I'm going to cook this for a long time to make sure it's really good. At this point in the cooking process, you can decide, do you want more half and half? Do you want more cheese? Knowing me, I probably will add some more cheese or some more half and half. I don't want to add any more liquid at this point because the broccoli has a lot of water in it. So as it cooks down, it's going to make this liquid even more. So be careful about adding so much liquid, and definitely I wouldn't add water because again the broccoli has a lot of water. I would use chicken stock. You can decide to use homemade chicken stock or of course what I use from the store. Kind of hurrying today, so I use that. But again, we're going to cook this down and see if we want to add anything else. Okay, in this pot I'm going to saute down some red onion because again, when you have people with allergies or people who hate certain foods, you kind of have to cook your onions somewhere else. So I'm just going to add this to my soup. Add as many to your liking, but again, I'm just going to saute these down in a little olive oil. Okay, at this point, I did decide to add another cup of half and half because I want my soup very rich. Not very thick, but very rich. I'm not looking for more of a chicken stock base. I'm looking for richness. And I think here in a minute, I may add some more cheddar cheese because I like mine very rich. Of course, there's a difference in thickness and richness. I can't stand when you go get broccoli cheese soup somewhere and it's so thick that you can't hardly consume it, or they put it in that bread bowl and it's actually thicker than the bread, which is weird. So yeah, I'm looking for the perfect consistency here. So I did again add another cup of half and half, and I think I'm going to add another cup of cheddar cheese. Okay, something tells me this is right where I want it. I did add another cup of cheddar cheese, and I will have the measurements and all that, the ingredients in the description, so don't go crazy. But I'm letting you know what I'm doing as I go along. We have the onions going. Okay, I'm going to show you a trick to make the perfect soup. Okay, now we're going to turn it up because I want to show you that's going to thicken and be perfect. But what I'm trying to show and tell you is that whenever you use cornstarch or flour, you want to start it on a high temperature. Now we're going to turn this back up to like 6 or 7 on my stove. Definitely on a higher temperature because we want to bring this to a boil. What that does with cornstarch and flour is it becomes thick. It starts to thicken. So once we get this thickening thing going on, then we're going to turn it back on low to simmer. That always makes the perfect thick soup or stock or stew or whatever you're trying to do this time of year. Again, high temperature, back to a lower temperature. Okay, can you feel the love? It is thickening, as you can see. Okay, I have turned this back down on low. On my stove, it's about 1 is where I have it. Onions are going. It looks great. I'm going to cook this down for about an hour. I believe in slow cooking this time of year, so it's going to be delicious. Okay, I added just another tablespoon of flour and 2 tablespoons of half and half to get the consistency I'm looking for. So again, I turned it back on high, then turned it back on low again, and we're going to simmer this for another 35 or 40 minutes. This looks wonderful. I've taken the spoon and chopped up the broccoli so it won't be so big, but this is perfect, the consistency I'm looking for. This is the finished product. I put a little more cheddar cheese on the top, a sprinkling of parsley flakes, you know, to make it pretty. So I'm going to go ahead and test it. This is the one without the onions, okay? Okay, let's get a bite with everything. That red pepper gives it a kick. It's so delicious, you guys. Again, I will put the recipe, the measurements, the ingredients all in the description box. This is delicious. This would also be good paired up with crusty bread or a toasted sandwich. I wouldn't suggest soft sandwich because of the consistency. And your broccoli should always be tender enough to cut with a plastic spoon. It should be that tender. This is amazing. You have to try this recipe. Oh my goodness. And I'm forgetting the name of the toasted sandwich. Great for like a grilled toasted sandwich, you know, Cuban sandwich. This would be awesome. Thank you guys for watching. I love you. Please subscribe. Please comment. Thank you for all my subscribers and the numbers going up. I really, really appreciate everything, and I hope you enjoy because this is absolutely a very, very delicious fall dish, winter dish. It's beautiful. So have a wonderful day. Love you. Bye.